Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Are you ready, Joe? Okay. We will call the Redwood Coast Transit Authority meeting together. It's Monday, January 22nd. Would you please call the roll? Gosh, I am out of, I'm not.
I can relate, no problem.
I'll give it a try. Let's see, Vice Chair Shalong.
Here.
Director Short.
Here.
Director Altman.
Here.
Director Roberts. Here. And Director Borges is not here yet, but we hear he's on his way.
Great.
There we go.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will open up public comment. There's none in the audience. Are we on Zoom?
We are on Zoom. Did any comment come in through the internet?
Rachel, do we have anybody tuned in?
No hands raised.
Nope.
All right, seeing no hands raised, we will close public comment and move on to election of officers. Should we move that down the agenda for Joey?
Yeah, that sounds good. We can do some of these other items and give him time to arrive.
You guys are too nice. I was about to elect him, or nominate him for
Right.
second term. Yeah, right. Okay. You guys are nice, though, so we'll move on.
I'm good with it.
That would teach him a lesson, wouldn't it? Get an extra year of chairmanship.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds good. We can go on to the next item then.
All right, we'll move on to item number 4, consent calendar. Approve the minutes of the November 27th, 2023 board meeting, and approve the 2024 race neutral, race conscious DBE implementation agreement.
I just had a quick question on the calendar, or not the calendar, what the heck am I talking about? Meeting minutes. And it was supposed to be January 29th, Joe, but we have, it's the fourth Monday of each month, right?
Yeah, it is the 4th, and the 29th was the 5th, and I had that in there, thinking that we would avoid the conflict with the room that we almost had, but we got lucky. But then, yeah, somewhere along there, I realized we could get the room, because LAFCO did cancel this month. Because I know the group wants to kind of try to meet earlier like this. So anyway, it was a juggling act, but on the old documents, it had the 29th.
Okay,
right?
I'm on a lot of different boards, so I'm trying to get a handle on these different schedules, and they're
Okay.
jumping around a lot on me, and so I'm asking for time off work and flex schedules, and
Okay.
ends up being a big jammed mess when, so I appreciate you answering that. And 4:15 is good for everybody, is that fine? Because that's because of me,
Yeah, I'm good with
because
that.
I'm off at 4 and I just.
I'm good with
get 'em straight
14,
here.
4:15, I'm good with the changes as well, if it's
Okay.
good for the rest of the members.
And that was it, because of that, what it said at the end of the meeting minutes. Thank you.
And I think our current consist of board members is going to stay the same for 2024, because the city appointments were made with Kelly and Ray. So it looks like we're all set, so if you guys wanted to adjust the starting times, we still can.
Ours are going to be officially decided tomorrow, but it doesn't look like anything changed on our appointment
Good,
list
good.
either, so
That's good news.
I don't see that it would go anywhere.
So if I could get a motion to approve the minutes with the January 22nd, right?
Well, I think when we adjourned that meeting, we said that it was going to be the 29th, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know
I
if
think
it's incorrect or
do
not.
the sorry, I can't speak today either, Kelly. Do the minutes, are they actually reflecting, are they reflecting what we actually said at the last meeting?
I think the reflection is right, according to the whiteout on the calendar.
According to the whiteout, right? Yeah, I agree.
okay, so leave the minutes as is? All right. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved?
And I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 5, approve amendment to agreement with Green Dot Transportation in an amount not to exceed $20,000 for project development support.
Okay, thank you, Madam Vice Chair. This item is, at our last meeting on late November 27th, we brought an item before you that we needed emergency consultant help to get a packet together for SB 125 funding that was, we had found out that was headed our way, but we had to submit a packet in order to be eligible. And that agreement was approved with Green Dot for $10,000, and we mentioned in that one we were hoping there was some left over because we wanted to retain them for any miscellaneous planning or project management stuff that might be coming along in the next few months, because these projects are very large and they're moving forward fairly rapidly. And at that time it was approved. As it turned out, we're back because that project went a little bit over budget. The packets were quite involved, but we did submit on time by the end of December. But it will, not only did it go over 10,000 a little bit, the final total was, of the billing was 11,840, but then it left us nothing we'd like to utilize, and we feel that the projects need to have a little bit of project management help so that it doesn't impact my ability to manage the rest of the service besides these large capital projects. So we've proposed an amendment that'll give us another 10,000 so we can pay off the base contract and then have a little over 8,000 available to utilize Jeff as needed for some miscellaneous project support this spring. Ahead of us on the project, we're requesting our first allocation from the CTC, so that'll be on the March CTC meeting. I just got the packet in over the weekend for that deadline. When that's approved, we'll be in a position to quickly do an RFP or an RFQ. I'm not quite sure which of the two variants we'll do yet, to get a consultant on board to help with the environmental document. what they call the Caltrans language, the PA and ED phase. So, and that comes just before design of the project. So that's all going to happen in the next months, this fiscal year. So we think it'd be great to have a little support during that RFP, and then as to evaluate proposals as they come in, so we could utilize Green Dot for that. So the staff recommendation is to approve Amendment 1 for $10,000 additional, not to exceed.
I had a quick question. So in the paperwork, it says not to approve an amendment not to exceed 20,000.
That, I wasn't sure the nomenclature that was best on it. It's 20,000 total. The amendment would be for 10. The original agreement was for 10. It's 20 total between the two.
Okay. And then I was going to ask if the grant funding is going to have any allotment for staff time.
Yes, it does. So we'll be able to, in fact, Caltrans is encouraging us to do that. So we'll be able to hire a consultant to help with project management to extend our abilities to manage these projects, and that's definitely an eligible
Okay.
funding item on these.
Are there any questions from the board?
You covered it. Thank you.
All right. Can I get a motion?
I will move that we approve the contract amendment.
For an additional 10,000.
But for an additional,
Yeah.
an additional 10,000. Thank you.
Can I get a second?
Second?
Can you pull the vote, please?
Yes, Director Short,
Yes.
Director Altman,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Vice Chair Schlong.
Yes.
So, Vice Chair, if you would allow me to go back to a consent agenda item, I just have a quick question.
Sure.
I realize we have already voted on this, but just going through my notes, I discovered or realized that I made a note about a highlighted area on page 2-5 of the diversity, equity language, and that is the part is that referred to the contract goal for participation. There was just a XX percentage, and I wanted to ask what that was. I mean, I'm prepared to propose a motion to reconsider, but I just wanted to know if we had addressed that or what that percentage was.
It's a good question.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent question. And I asked the same thing when I received this from Dan Herron. We were told to adopt this verbatim, including the XX and the highlights. I believe it's because with large projects, agencies are able to select a project-specific goal, because not all projects are as appropriate or friendly or unfriendly to DBEs. So they left that language in there, but we were told to adopt it just as is with the XX blank. So some projects, for example, well, like in our operations contract with First Transit Transdub, we did, I believe ended up being like 1%. We set a goal of a little higher than that because we weren't sure if like tires and, because it really comes down to how many DBEs do certain things in your area that would be feasible to get on board the team. So yeah, they told us to just put it in there with the blank because we're not doing project specific. This is the annual agreement, so it's not at the project level. So that's why we left it in there as is.
Maybe it's
So-
Roman numerals.
So,
That's
well, I
true.
hope it's not 20%, because I think
Yeah, I know.
for the local region, it'd be a pretty tough thing to achieve. So that's what I was just worried about, is what kind of percentage that would be. I realize there's some language in contracts that give some advantages to local businesses as well as disadvantaged business enterprises. But it would be, it's troubling to not know that percentage. So,
Dan, is that something you can speak to? Dan, can you hear us? I'm not getting any volume off the Zoom.
Yeah, I think, this is Dan here.
he's somewhere.
The percentage,
Hold on, Dan.
hi, the percentage is.
Very, very quiet.
It's probably, between 1 and 2.
Coming out of a TV? Is
We've
that?
been having all kinds of problems with
Oh, have
Zoom
you?
in here.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like it's coming out of these speakers.
Can you hear me?
Is that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh,
Oh, hey, there we go.
There you are.
Okay, yeah, it's about 1.8, I think, 1.9% that Caltrans tends to put in its specific project criteria. This is, I can only guess that they left this flexible because it's an overview type of document. Specific.
Okay, and Dan, does that speak to the reason why it said just adopt it blank like this? Is because it's, that's some contract language from a project-specific goal, but what we're doing is adopting our annual agreement? Is that why?
Yeah, on our other agreements, we have been using 1.9%, hoping to achieve much more than that, but being realistic.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, if that's what we've been going with, yeah, 1.9% is reasonable, I think, even for our region. So, yeah, thank you for that, that answer, and I won't,
We'll just let the record reflect that percentage was discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
thank you for allowing me to go back.
One more interruption. I did have an extra note on the meeting minutes. It was January 29th, 2023. So, and my time machine's broken.
Well, other than that, I had this thing really nailed down pretty good. Other than the year, month, and date. Sorry about that.
All right,
My
so we are on item number 6.
We are on item 6, although we could go back now.
Oh, yeah.
The
We
chair,
waited for you for
Borges
the
is here.
elections.
We could go back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Darren and Ray wanted to just move forward without you, but
Bring it, I'll do it.
I was on
I'm
your
okay with it.
side. No.
Going to make a motion that Supervisor Borges remain as chair of RCTA.
Second.
If I could, before we vote on that, I believe it's traditionally rotated. I don't know if it goes all the way back to the bylaws, but I suspect it might.
Well, if it's in the bylaws, that's one thing, but if it's a tradition, we're going to buck tradition right now.
Man, I never bring my bylaws when I need them. I can look that up. I thought it was the city's turn for chairpersonship. But,
It's the same with the Solid Waste Management Authority. It's a tradition that it goes back and forth, but guess who's chair again? Yeah, so.
You're right. You always get stuck with it.
Okay, I mean, I can do it. If Joe doesn't want me to, I won't, but.
Oh, no, you've done a great job this year. We have no problem with that.
You have access to the bylaws?
Yeah, I'm pulling them up here.
Vedette's
See if it
down there just enjoying the show. Yeah.
This is that pregnant pause that we all dread at these meetings. Let me see.
I've heard that multiple times today.
Gorgeous,
I
gorgeous.
guess I should have went, apparently. Jesus.
Oh, we gotta put that on the record.
I'm not sure how that got brought up, but I've heard that multiple times today.
I thought that was Jason.
Sorry.
You weren't there?
I was not.
No.
No, it was too late.
That's
Man.
okay, so Kevin Hawkins, when he introduced all the VIPs, he left me off, which was fine, but then he didn't introduce any of the county board of supervisors.
Oh,
It was funny. And then someone yells, "You forgot Val." And then he was like, "Oh, I mean, Dean Wilson is here." And then he was like, "Oh, and Val." I'm like, oh my God. So then at the end, when Kevin Hartwick got up to do the Lifetime Achievement Award, he goes, Listen, Hawkins, 65% isn't too bad.
And I'm not even gonna mention you left out the judge.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. That's pretty funny.
Okay, I don't know if it's good news or not. I'll let you guys decide that, but it does not say that we have to rotate that back and forth between city and county. It just says that the board shall elect a chairman and a vice chair from among its members, and that it appoints an executive director who may not be on the board. So I think we're good, so.
All right, so we have
Whoever
a
you wanna
motion and a
pick.
I'm going to
second.
reinforce my motion for Gorgeous Borges.
Into the record.
And I will reaffirm Darren's always right.
Okay, who do we have? We have somebody pulling the votes? Is there somebody online?
No.
Joe?
We're scrambling.
Nominations?
So that will be, so we're voting, the motion is for Joey to be the chair. And we will go with.
Motion by Darren, second by Ray.
Motion by, yeah, Darren. Who seconded that?
Ray.
Ray.
All right, so we'll go with Director Short,
Yes.
Vice Chair Schlong,
Yes.
Director Altman,
Yes.
Director Roberts. Chair Borges.
Yes. Okay,
Congratulations.
moving on, nominations for vice chair.
I would also move that Director Shalong remain in her chair as vice chair.
I have to rename in this chair?
Yes.
In that
Yes, you
very
do.
chair.
Second.
Yes.
Okay, we have a nomination and a second. Any other nominations? Nope, good. All right, let's pull the vote.
Okay, that'll be Director Short,
Yes.
Chair Borges,
Yes.
Director Altman,
Yes.
Director Roberts. And Vice Chair Schlong.
No.
It's a unanimous yes.
I guess that seals it. You're running in November.
Oh, very funny.
Oh. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so I'm guessing, sorry I'm late, at a meeting at the tribe. And so now that I'm here, we've done the consent calendar, we've done number 5, and moving on to number 6, adopt resolution 2023-24-12, approving allocation requests for TIRCP funds for project approvals and environmental documentation for the Williams Drive electric bus charging infrastructure project.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We touched on this briefly a couple moments ago. This will be our first allocation request for the TIRCP funds, which stands for Transit Intercity Rail Capital Projects. We were awarded two chunks of money for this. About a year ago this time, we got the good news that our application with Humboldt was accepted, and we were funded for like $7.3 million for 3 project components: our Williams Drive electric bus charging infrastructure, the purchase of the first batch of electric buses, and the design and construction of the downtown transit center. Then, more recently, this last fall, SB 125 came out, and that was the governor and legislature's effort to provide one-time help to transit statewide to avoid the fiscal cliff that a lot of transit agencies are facing coming out of the COVID pandemic. So that one luckily got through the sausage-making process and was formulated to all the transit agencies in the state through their local RTPA, in our case, which is Del Norte Local Transportation Commission, and the allocation's $3.25 million additional funding. In our case, we want to apply that additional funds to 2 of these 3 project components that we felt were a little underfunded coming out of the first grant, and that was for more electric buses and for that downtown transit center project. This first allocation, we just wanted to get a resolution to show the board's support behind it. After I reread it 10 times or so, I don't know where I got the idea that we needed the resolution from it, because it does not exactly say that, but it certainly doesn't hurt us, although future allocations will probably just do it without the resolution. But anyway, this allows us to apply for the first tranche of funds for that first project. So this will be $37,000